If you were to give some advice to a young person coming out of college, say, or a new manager who has on their long-term goal sheet, I want to be a C-level officer in a company, how do you help them?
First of all, and I might question it just a little bit, are you sure you want to do that? You pick up one end of that stick, you pick up the other, and there's a lot of responsibility. If you carry that title, certainly there's an expectation. You've got to do the rest of the job. And thrilling, exciting, but it comes with a lot of commitment as well. When I set out in my career initially, and I don't know if I looked and thought about being a CEO of a company at some point or not, I don't really remember. But if I did, it was probably a very vague and ambiguous concept and picture that I really had no idea how one got there at the time.
So how did you get here then?
Well, and I could talk a little about that journey. As I look back on my career over the last, 25 years or so, you do need to pay your dues. It's surprising to me sometimes when people want to try to skip some of that. And, during that first 10 years in particular, I remember reading all the time, voraciously. At lunch, I would typically go out in my car somewhere, have a sack lunch with me, and I would be either reading a book or reading, an excerpt or a speech or something from someone I admired. Typically strong leaders and successful types of people. And I read and I read and I read and I read and I read. As you go along, I suppose you take pieces from each one that resonate with you, that seem to make sense to you. And I did. I spent a lot of that first 10 years, my lunch periods were usually on my own, reading and really studying others that I admired for one reason or another.
So you've invested a lot in yourself, and you took those quiet times to make sure you're continuing to improve yourself.
It was, and like I said, I don't know that I was doing it necessarily with a view of trying to reach, high-level executive position, but it was something that I did for a long time, just wanting to understand, realizing that I lacked a lot. I remember early in my career having an opportunity. At one point, I was managing a lot of people, a lot of engineers at the time, and all of a sudden being flung into a position where I was part of a strategic team. And I quickly, as I rubbed shoulders with executive-level people, I remember coming to the realization very quickly that I had become very good tactically, very good at executing and on a tactical basis, but I was very much lacking in strategic skills and ability. I remember that being even a fear of a realization that came over me, and realizing that I needed to gain a whole new set of skills.